There is a hidden sanctuary in southeastern Europe where time seems to slow down and the modern world simply fades away. As your ferry gently rounds the rugged headland and enters the Bay of Kotor for the very first time, you can feel the immediate shift in the atmosphere. The world suddenly narrows, wrapping you in a blanket of profound silence. On either side, colossal limestone mountains rise almost vertically from the water's surface, casting long, dramatic shadows. They plunge deeply into an Adriatic Sea so dark, so still, and so pure that it resembles a massive sheet of polished obsidian.
Tucked away at the furthest end of this ancient fjord-like bay, a walled medieval city appears like a mirage, having stood guard over these waters for more than 1,000 years. Its stone bastions climb the steep hillside behind it, crowning the landscape with an undeniable sense of history. Here, the heavy silence of nature is only broken by the melancholic drift of church bells echoing across the mirrored water. This is Montenegro, a land whose very name whispers tales of the Black Mountain, a poetic tribute to the dark, untamed peaks of Mount Lovćen that have watched over this sacred territory for centuries. Though it remains one of Europe's smallest nations, spanning just over 13,000 square kilometers, do not let its size deceive you. Montenegro cradles an extraordinary, almost impossible density of breathtaking wonders within its borders. To truly understand the soul of Montenegro, one must first understand its masterclass of natural contrasts. The defining geographical crown jewel of this nation is the Bay of Kotor, locally known as Boka Kotorska. Carved over millennia by ancient geological forces and filled to the brim by the rising Adriatic Sea, this breathtaking body of water is frequently celebrated as Europe's southernmost fjord. Technically, it is a submerged river canyon, but when you stand at the water's edge in the quiet hours of the morning, watching the morning mist cling to the giant cliffs, the technicalities simply fade away. All that remains is the pure, uninterrupted view. Resting quietly at the far end of this 87-kilometer shoreline is Kotor, a fortified medieval city so perfectly preserved that UNESCO designated its cultural and historical landscape as a World Heritage Site. Stepping through the ancient sea gate, which was constructed back in 1555, feels like stepping entirely out of modern time. The polished limestone lanes are narrow and intimate, barely allowing two travelers to walk side by side. The historical architecture tells a story of centuries of Venetian maritime rule, with stone buildings wearing their heritage proudly on every carved archway and towering bell tower. At the heart of the old town stands the Cathedral of St. Tryphon, originally built in the 12th century and masterfully restored after a major earthquake in 1667. It anchors the entire city with a presence that is both monumental and deeply human. As you wander through the labyrinth of streets, quiet piazzas open up unexpectedly, offering a solitary stone bench, a historical fountain, and a rare moment of complete stillness.
However, Kotor's most iconic experience lies far above its stone walls. The ancient city fortifications climb ruggedly up the steep hillside behind the town, stretching for 4.5 kilometers toward the heavens. This path leads to the majestic ruins of San Giovanni Fortress, sitting proudly at 260 meters above sea level. The grueling ascent consists of over 1,300 stone steps. It is a journey best attempted before 8 in the morning, right before the Mediterranean heat settles over the valley. The reward for every steady step is a panoramic view that no camera can fully capture. The entire Bay of Kotor unfolds beneath your feet, a grand tapestry of deep blue waters, emerald hillsides, and the warm terracotta rooftops of the medieval town below. It is a view that instantly reminds you how beautiful the world can be. Beyond the grand stone structures, Kotor is also world famous for its unique living charm, its free-roaming feline population. These local cats have been a beloved fixture of the old town for centuries, having originally arrived on the historic Venetian trade ships. Today, they wander the sunlit squares with the confident ease of rightful residents who know they are deeply cared for, adding a touch of gentle warmth to this ancient stone fortress.
Traveling 12 kilometers northwest along the curved shoreline of the bay, you will encounter the serene town of Perast. This quiet settlement asks for nothing more than a peaceful morning of your time, but it gives back something truly extraordinary. Fewer than 300 people reside permanently among this stunning collection of Baroque palaces and historic bell towers, all pressed directly against the calm waterfront. The town's most celebrated treasures sit just a short boat ride offshore. Two small, picturesque islands emerge from the deep blue waters. Both are completely artificial, meticulously created over centuries by local sailors who dropped heavy stones and sunken vessels into the bay. The larger of the two islands holds the iconic Church of Our Lady of the Rocks. This is a sanctuary of profound devotion, its historic walls covered in silver votive tablets, old portraits of seafaring men, and a famous tapestry woven by a local woman over 25 years, using a portion of her own hair. It remains a place of extraordinary quiet beauty and one of the most spiritually moving small churches in the entire Mediterranean world.
Heading south of the Grand Bay, the landscape opens dramatically, and the overall atmosphere shifts. Here lies the famous Budva Riviera, Montenegro's most visited stretch of coastline, home to sun-drenched beaches and timeless coastal imagery. Budva itself is a fascinating destination, wearing two completely different personalities. Its historic old town, built on a small peninsula jutting directly into the sparkling Adriatic, shares the exact same medieval limestone DNA as Kotor. It is a beautiful labyrinth of narrow lanes and ancient walls, with a rich history stretching back over 2,500 years to its origins as a Greek settlement. Surrounding this ancient core, however, is a vibrant modern resort city that grows dynamically every summer to welcome travelers from all across the globe. During the peak months of July and August, the beaches are full of energy. But if you choose to visit during the shoulder seasons of May, June, or early September, you will find the exact same clear waters and beautiful evening light, but with a fraction of the crowds. The true crown jewel of this coastal region, and arguably the single most iconic image of Montenegro, lies 12 kilometers further south. Sveti Stefan is a fortified island village connected to the mainland by a narrow, sandy path. Its terracotta rooftops and stone towers rise elegantly from a rocky promontory surrounded by brilliant turquoise waters. While the entire island has been transformed into one of the most exclusive, high-end resort properties in Europe, you do not need to check in to experience its magic. The view from the cliff-top road above, where the highway curves sharply around the headland, is a classic travel moment. Sveti Stefan appears suddenly below you, impossibly perfect, creating a striking memory that stays with you for years afterward. Nearby, the serene waters of Queen's Beach offer a peaceful access to this exact same setting, allowing you to take in the breathtaking views in complete tranquility. No matter how immersive your journey through Montenegro is, there's always a dedicated moment of absolute stillness. For the specific kind of awe that comes from encountering something that seems to exceed the limits of human capability, there is no place more powerful than the Ostrog Monastery. Constructed in the 17th century by Bishop Vasily, who was later canonized as Saint Basil, this sacred sanctuary is carved directly into a sheer, vertical white cliff face, suspended at an altitude of nearly 900 meters above the vast Zeta Valley. From the mountain road below, it appears almost as a physical impossibility, a brilliant white chapel pressed tightly into a solid rock wall, as though the mountain itself miraculously opened to receive it. The slow approach along a narrow, winding road through the dense forest, or on foot along an ancient pilgrimage path walked for 3.5 centuries, builds a powerful sense of anticipation. Ostrog is the most visited pilgrimage site in the entire Balkan region, drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors each year from all across the globe, regardless of their faith.
Many travelers choose to spend the entire night on the open rocky terraces in front of the upper monastery, waiting patiently to enter the holy gates at dawn. The atmosphere is particularly magical in the earliest morning light, when low mist fills the deep valley far below and the white cliff glows softly above. It stands as one of the most spiritually resonant and visually dramatic experiences available to any traveler on the European continent. As you leave the sacred cliffs behind and head deeper into Montenegro's extraordinary northern wilderness, you enter a completely different world. The Mediterranean warmth, the sparkling Adriatic blue, and the historic Venetian architecture all quickly fall away. The road climbs steeply into a landscape of extraordinary alpine scales, where the air becomes sharper, crisper, and the silence is total.
Durmitor National Park, a protected UNESCO World Heritage Site, sits proudly in the northwestern corner of the country, resting at an average elevation of over 1,500 meters. Its majestic centerpiece is a massive range of 48 peaks, with the highest point, Bobatov Kuk, rising over 2,500 meters into the sky. Draped in dense, ancient black pine forests and punctuated by 18 glacial lakes formed at the end of the last ice age, this region is a paradise for the soul. The most beautiful of these glacial waters is Cherno Jezero, known simply as the Black Lake. It is a body of still, deep water, surrounded by pine forests so thick and dark that even in the height of midsummer, the lakeside remains cool, quiet, and completely serene. In the quiet hours of the early morning, when low mist hovers gently above the mirror-like surface and the rugged peaks behind reflect perfectly in the water below, it forms one of the most quietly spectacular natural scenes in all of Europe. The nearby alpine town of Jablok, sitting as the highest settlement in the Balkans, serves as a peaceful base for anyone looking to reconnect with the raw, untouched power of nature. The single most extraordinary natural wonder of this northern region, and one of the greatest natural spectacles on the planet, lies at the very edge of Durmitor National Park. The Tara River Canyon plunges 1,300 meters deep and stretches for 82 kilometers, making it the second deepest river canyon in the entire world, surpassed only by the Grand Canyon in Arizona. The sheer scale of this abyss is genuinely difficult for the human mind to absorb,
until you are standing at the very rim, looking down into a void so immense that the river at its base appears merely as a thin silver thread from above. The canyon walls are heavily clothed in primeval forest, home to some of the largest remaining old-growth beech trees in Europe. The Tara River itself runs cold, crystalline, and beautiful, fed by mountain snowmelt filtered through millennia of limestone. For those who prefer to experience this vast landscape from a steady vantage point above, the historic Đurđevića Tara Bridge offers a breathtaking viewpoint. Standing at the center of this elegant arch bridge, completed in 1940, with the canyon walls dropping nearly a kilometer on either side, you are treated to one of the most beautiful and vertigo-inducing perspectives available in all of Europe.
Heading back toward the south of the country, where the dramatic mountains finally level into a broad, sunlit valley before the border, lies Montenegro's final landscape masterpiece, Lake Skadar. Spanning approximately 370 square kilometers at its peak, it stands as the largest lake in the Balkan Peninsula. This immense body of water shifts dynamically with the seasons, expanding and contracting as the rivers and underwater springs that feed it rise and fall. Its western and northern banks lie within a protected national park, specifically established to preserve what is one of Europe's most vital wetland ecosystems. Lake Skadar is, above all, a place of profound biological richness. Its shallow bays and sprawling reed beds are home to rare Dalmatian pelicans, herons, and dozens of migratory bird species. For the everyday traveler, it is simply a sanctuary of pure peace. It is a place where traditional wooden fishing boats drift silently across mirror-flat waters, where islands of white water lilies bloom beautifully in June and July, and where small Orthodox monasteries appear around every headline like unexpected gifts from another century. The finest way to experience this watery paradise is by taking a slow boat excursion from the lakeside village of Virpazar, carrying you through quiet reed channels and out into the open expanse of the central lake. For those now seriously dreaming of your own journey to this remarkable country, a few essential practical details will help you plan. Montenegro uses the euro as its official currency, making budgeting highly convenient for international travelers. In terms of cost, Montenegro occupies a very comfortable position, offering a meaningfully more affordable experience compared to neighboring Croatia at an equivalent level of quality. A full, authentic meal at a local tavern will typically cost between 10 and 20 euros per person. Quality guest house accommodations begin around 40 to 60 euros per night in well-located areas, while charming mid-range hotels in Kotor and Budva typically range from 80 to 160 euros during the pleasant shoulder seasons. The absolute best time to visit depends entirely on your travel priorities. For the beautiful coastline, the months of May, June, and September offer warm, clear weather with a fraction of the summer crowds. July and August bring the vibrant energy of the peak Mediterranean summer, though the northern national parks remain relatively peaceful and uncrowded even during these busy months. To fully experience the wonders of Montenegro, renting a car is highly recommended. The country is beautifully compact, meaning you can drive the entire coastline in a single day, and having your own vehicle opens easy access to Ostrog Monastery, Durmitor, and Lake Skadar without relying on public transport.
Right now, in this particular window of time, Montenegro offers something increasingly rare in modern travel: the complete, untamed beauty of a continent's finest landscapes without the weight of massive crowds. The dramatic cliffs of Kotor, the sacred monastery on the vertical rock, the canyon that swallows the sky, and the calm lake that turns to gold at dusk. These are not merely destinations you visit. They are places that stay with you, quietly calling you to return. Which of these breathtaking sanctuaries in Montenegro touched your heart the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We read and cherish every single reflection. If this peaceful journey brought a moment of tranquility to your day, please leave a gentle like and subscribe to become a part of our quiet community. Your beautiful support helps more wandering souls discover the world's most hidden and untouched paradises. Until our paths cross again on the next corner of the globe, stay peaceful and take care.